I am Kushan Mitra, contributing editor at ThePrint, and I'm with Ashish Gupta, Brand Director now of Skoda. Ashish is a 25-year veteran of the auto industry, pretty much like I am. but he's spent the last 10 years in the Skoda Auto Volkswagen India group, and he was previously Brand Director of Volkswagen, and you must have seen some videos of him in the past. But now he's heading up the mother brand in India, Skoda. So first things first, Ashish, it's been just 1 month.
Yeah.
You've outlined a bit of your vision for Skoda, but can you just tell our viewers what is your vision for the Czech brand in India now?
I think, Kushan, as I mentioned in our meeting today also, and in my presentation, I think the goal is very simple. Skoda as a brand, our commitment is to get closer to customers, and but easier said than done. And for doing that, there are three pillars to our strategy, which we call relevance, differentiation, and trust. By the launch of the Kylaq, now we are present in one of the biggest segments in the market, the sub 4 meter SUV segment. We cover almost 60% of the market in India with our product lineup, which includes the SUV trinity of Kylaq, Kushaq, and the Kodiaq, and with the Slavia, which carries forward our sedan legacy. We are present now in almost 85% of the market in India in terms of geography. Our service costs are more and more accessible. So now we are a relevant player in the Indian market. Our market rank has climbed from 11 last year to 7 already this year. So we are relevant, a relevant player in the Indian market, and we intend to continue that relevance. Now, what that relevance also does is gives you a unique opportunity also to be able to influence consumer behaviors. Yeah, and that is where differentiation comes in. We are known for our European engineering. We have established ourselves as the leader in safety. We are a brand which promises increasing value to our customers through our products and services. And now the important thing, or the important differentiation that I want to drive, is in the way India moves, or you provide mobility in India. What I'm talking about is our automatics. With the Kylaq automatic range, which now starts at 10.85, we actually have one of the cheapest or the most accessible real automatics, the 6-speed torque converter available for the Indian consumers. We have anyway established our DSG technology as the premium technology in the segment. The distribution between automatic and manuals in India is 25-75, very different from how the world moves, being 90 automatic, 10 maybe manual. I think that is a unique opportunity for us as a brand to be able to influence the movement of India towards ease of mobility.
Now, we're talking about automatics. Let's talk about automatics right now.
Yeah.
The top of the market is almost fully automatic,
Yeah.
right? So even your premium cars, like your Kodiaq, only comes with an automatic.
Yes.
But why do you think? I mean, and automatics weren't big in India at all until less than a decade ago.
Yeah.
But why do you think the number is 25 still? And
No, I think it has to do a lot with how the market has operated and how the market has been structured in terms of more smaller cars. And there have been some myths around, I wouldn't say unfounded, but there have been some myths around automatics being, difficult to maintain, giving lesser fuel efficiency, and those perceptions have still not changed. But that is not the fact anymore. The automatics are as fuel efficient as manuals, or in some cases even better. They are easy to maintain, the repairability is much better, and the failure rates have drastically gone down. So these facts now will aid in changing the way people think about automatics. And if you look at it, look at the growth that is happening in India. Look at who are the people driving the cars. A lot of women drivers coming in. A lot of people who want ease of mobility. I think they have not tasted the automatic so far because of these myths that surround it, and that is the perception we want to change.
and would you say automatics also there's a skew towards major metropolitan areas? I mean, people in Delhi, Mumbai, or Bengaluru would buy an automatic because traffic is
Yeah. So if you
bad.
look at it generally, the segments we have been present in with the Kushaq, the Slavia, and the Kodiaq, in those in those segments in the markets that we represented, typically the automatic adoption is much better or much bigger. If on a market scale you are at 25-75, in my portfolio, automatics already constitute around 55%. Yeah. So that ways we have been there. But what will change with the introduction of the Kylaq is that there is a big opportunity now to change that segment also towards more automatic.
All right. Now I want to get to the question about other drivetrains. You mentioned that Skoda is doing very well in Europe with EVs. The Elrock and the Enyaq are doing very, very well. In fact, the entire Volkswagen group is doing very well. If you look at the
Yeah.
numbers I've been looking, and adoption in many major European markets is now 15, 20, 25%, Scandinavia aside.
Yeah.
Why? But what is Skoda's electric plan for India? I mean, that should also be a lot of the group plans. There's a new EV policy in place. Can you give us some update? Is there Elrock or other Elrock or Enyaq going to be coming to you?
No easy answer for that, Kushan. Typically, if you look at it, and I remember when we interacted 4 to 5 years back when we were launching our India 2.0 products. Yeah, at that time everybody was asking me, why are you launching these cars? You should have launched an EV. At that time also I had said that the inflection point in the Indian EV industry will come somewhere around 2027, not by chance, but because of 3 reasons: manufacturing capability, supply chain stability, and thirdly the government regulation, the CAFE norms coming in. And that is exactly what is happening. At that time also, the projection for the EV industry for 2025 was somewhere around 5.5-6%. Yeah, last month we ended at 4.5% of the market being EV. By the end time we exit this calendar year, I think the EV penetration would go to 5%. So we are not that far off. What has changed is the projection for 2030 was 30%, which I don't think anybody believes in any longer. In best case, it could be 15 to 18%, and that is not only peculiar to India but is worldwide. It's a worldwide phenomena. Yeah, so with that in mind, the inflection point still remains 27. Yeah, and if we claim to be a relevant player in India, and if we want to continue to be a relevant player in India, we will have to get into EV space. That's the answer I can give you right now. If you ask me, which product, and if you want to be relevant in that segment, you will have to have a mass EV locally produced.
And what about other drivetrains we're hearing across the world now? Of course, you have hybrids, but even in China, which is the leading EV market, or they call it NEV. Leading NEV segment, the fastest growing in China is our range extenders, EREVs as they call them, or hybrids as well. So do you see Skoda with products as range extenders or hybrids?
No, definitely. I think every manufacturer in this world is right now grappling with what powertrains to bring. Should we bet on a single powertrain or 2 powertrains, or have a multiple powertrain portfolio? I think that's something which is also being discussed very aggressively in our group in terms of which technologies to go for, what kind of powertrains you should have in our portfolio. And I think that's something which is not an easily solvable issue. We have seen this in previous technology revolutions or technology transitions as well in other industries, whether it was mobiles, whether it was the VHS, Betamax, and everything that happened at that point of time. And you have to be very careful in what bets you take, because each one of those bets are costly investments. Yeah, and those are not for the immediate future. They last you for 5, 10, 15 years. So these are things which will take time to stabilize, I would say. Yeah, Kushan.
So I won't ask you about 25-year history, but since your last decade in the group, how would you say the Indian car consumer has evolved in the last 10 years, from 2015, since when you joined the group?
No, I think the market shift is from pure mobility, car being just a means of getting from A to B, to being a companion of you on the road, is something which I see as a general shift in the mindset. It is no longer about having the most basic car that you can afford. It is about having the best car that you can have. Yeah, very clearly premiumization, very clearly moving towards bigger body style, and that too SUVs. And in any product today, and it's very surprising that the middle and the higher end variants end up selling more, which was opposite 10 years back. So that's a market shift in how India operates in what the aspirations of Indian customers are.
So they want sunroofs.
They want every feature. But the value consciousness of Indian consumers has not gone away. The definition of what that value means for them has transformed a little bit.
So therefore, by offering an automatic at a more affordable,
you are actually bringing more value to customers.
So they think they're getting more value. Because otherwise they would consider automatics to be more expensive. Otherwise, now they think they're getting a premium value.
Yes.
in the car. So this is all changing for the Indian market, but Skoda has also been around India for 25 years. I remember one of my first ever trips in 2000 to Wolfsburg. I was told that Skoda is coming to India, but
Mm.
um, one thing you mentioned, that Skoda has had a perception problem
Mm.
with regards to service, and that was also true in your previous brand.
Yeah.
How are you? And you are saying you have some of the lowest running costs.
Exactly. Mm.
It, as you also said, it takes time to build trust.
Yeah.
But why do you think that is? Why do you think these stories persist for so long? I
Mm.
mean, why do you think customers still think Skoda is an expensive product? It's a
No, I think the fact the data-based facts we have corrected.
Mhm.
You know, the cost of ownership. It's a fact that it is one of the most affordable. Today, you can maintain a Kylaq or a Kylaq or a Slavia for that matter for 7,500 rupees a year, yeah, which is even cheaper than some of the smaller cars available in the market. It's a fact that our parts availability is very good now with the kind of localization we have done. We measure that by what is called service rate. In fact, the industry measures it by that. We are at around 96% service rate, which is among the best in the industry. The fact is, our cars are easier to repair now with child parts availability. So these facts are truth which are established in the market. But what we have to also tackle parallelly is the perception. You know, whether that this message has gone out and has gone out to enough customers. Have they experienced this change? So that is something which I think we also need to focus on, along with also making sure that the fact-based corrections that we need to do continue to happen even more.
all right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time, Ashish, and the best of luck. It's only been a month, so
Yeah.
hope to see you soon at the launch of an upcoming exciting new sedan.
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
See you soon.
Thank you so much, Kishan.